Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm glad to be here today. It's Sunday. It's a rockin' day. I hope you're having a great day too. I'm going to answer all these questions that you guys sent to me. They're really good questions. Made me think. Some of them I was like, I don't really know what it is that I think about that. And some of them I knew, bang, automatically, right away. But man, there were some good questions. I first want to say thank you guys for following me and my family on our Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, any of those accounts, whether it's Cole and Savannah or all of us. Thank you guys from the very start. So I want to answer these questions, and I hope I answer these in your satisfaction. And if you didn't get a question in, still send a question to me, and I'll see if I can answer that for you sometime. But first one was, who's your favorite celebrity? I don't have a favorite celebrity. There's not like somebody that I think of that I really like admire in a certain way, but I do love a certain character from a film, and that was Doc Holliday from the movie Tombstone, and that was played by Val Kilmer. I just love that role. I love it when he's going to fight this guy Johnny Ringo, and he kind of comes behind a tree and says, "I'm your Huckleberry," and I think he's just an awesome character in the film. So if you haven't seen Tombstone, go check it out. And his character is Doc Holliday. Man, it is awesome. Who's your favorite child? I don't have a favorite child. It's kind of like weird to say that, but I do. There's a maybe child that I'm most like, and that's one of your questions in here. But I don't have a favorite a child. I love all of them equally. They're awesome. What's your favorite food? My favorite food, hands down, is seafood. I love seafood. You ask anybody in my family, I love seafood. I love crab legs. I love shrimp. So literally love crab legs. I love fish tacos. I make some awesome fish tacos. So I grew up on the beach, on the coast, and so anything seafood wise, man, I love seafood. If you could change anything about any of your child's names, I wouldn't change any of our child's names. We really had a purpose when we went to think of like our children's names. We wanted to be kind of simple, like monosyllabic, which really means one syllable, and 4 letters. So we started out with Luke, L-U-K-E, and then we got Cole, C-O-L-E, and then we got Jack, J-A-C-K, Clay, C-L-A-Y, Tate, T-A-T-E, and Lily, even though it's Lily and not one syllable, it's L-I-L-Y. So I love all of their names. I wouldn't change any of their names in the world. They're all of names. So Luke, Cole, Jack, Clay, Tate, and Lily. Do you just leave your hair, or do you do something to it? That's a good question. Sometimes I will. I'll just take a shower and leave it, but most of the time I do. I'll probably put some type of product inside the hair, because otherwise it will just puffy and get too full. I've worn my hair like super long, like Cole's length, and I've had it super short. Right now it's kind of like at that medium length, and I don't know, I'm just kind of growing it out, but there's usually something that I put in my hair, that's for sure. If you had one more kid, would it be a boy or girl? One more kid, boy or girl? I would say, I mean, I would be fine with really either. Maybe another little girl. Lily could have like a little buddy. That would be a girl, like a little girl companion, but you know, I really was fine. I was fine with just, even if we had all boys, but having Lily rocks, having a little girl. She's awesome. Do you like the weather in California or Alabama better? Honestly, probably I like, you know, Alabama's weather's not so bad. I really don't like it in June, July, August, and September. Those hot months, I just really do not like it here. The other months, so 8 months, the balance, I like it in Alabama. California's weather's awesome. I remember the first time I went to California and I got off the plane, I thought, it's like LAX, it was like coming out into an air conditioned, perfectly crisp, wonderful weather, and it was in the summertime. I thought, this is awesome. It was a June or July, and we just went out there for Cole's wedding, and we got there and it was like 71 or 72 for a high. So overall, yeah, I love that California weather, that Huntington Beach weather. All that weather is just awesome. So yeah, I would say I like the California weather overall, probably even better because it's just so perfect. Have you lived in Alabama your entire life? My kids mostly have. Luke was the only one that was born in Tallahassee, Florida, and the other kids have lived in Alabama their whole lives. I was actually born in Bainbridge, Georgia, which is next door and lived there for maybe 10 days of my life. My parents were kind of traveling through with a job my dad had, and but then the rest of my life, for my whole life, lived on the west coast of Florida until I was until I was 20, and then I moved to Tallahassee, Florida, for about 6 years for undergraduate and graduate school, and then when I was 26, moved here to Alabama. So I've been here for 23 years. Well, that's a pretty good amount of time. But I do like it here in Alabama. Have you always lived in Alabama? Again, I just answered that one, but not really. I lived part of my time here, probably half my life almost. Have you ever considered moving to California? Yeah, I have considered moving to California. And especially now that Cole and Savannah have moved out there, and we've been out there quite a few times now and really like it. So that's something, I'm kind of praying about, thinking about for this next year. I'm really not sure what we'll do, but yeah, that's something definitely is a consideration. It's one of my spots I'm thinking about. I really want to move near water one day, so that's high on my list of something I would like to do, is maybe to move to California, but we'll see. If you could go anywhere for a week, where would you go? I would say if I could go anywhere, I probably need a little more extended time for this one, but I've always wanted to go to New Zealand, Australia, that type of area would be very exotic to me. So I would love to go to Christchurch, New Zealand. I think it's called the Flower City. Really, any place in New Zealand would be cool. And then I really would love to go to the Gold Coast of Australia. It looks amazing. You got Brisbane, and then that whole coast all the way down to Tweed. I'd love to surf and the beach, and I could probably, that's one of your other questions, like where could you live? I would really love to live in that area. I don't know why, but I always look that up, so that would be to me very exotic, and one place I'd like to go to see if I would like to live there, if it was something besides the United States. So these are awesome questions. Do you like to hunt? We live in Alabama. I'd say almost everybody around me and every place that we've lived, whether it was in Troy or Enterprise, loved to hunt, but no, I do not like to hunt, and I don't even think about hunting. I like to fish, and I like the saltwater fish especially, and I like to catch bass here too in the freshwater lakes, but I don't like to hunt at all. And even when I catch fish, more than often I just catch them and release them and throw them back. But no, I could not think about hunting. If I think about hunting, that to me would be like honestly the most miserable thing in my life. I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, hunting, because spending those hours and waiting for something to kill, no, I don't think I'd want to do that at all. So I'm probably like an oddball here in Alabama where I don't hunt, because most people around us do hunt. Did you play sports in high school? Yeah, I did. I played so many sports. I played baseball and a little bit of basketball, but mostly soccer. And that was probably my most favorite sport, was soccer. And I played that all the way through high school. What did you decide to do, or why did you decide to YouTube? I just decided to YouTube just to kind of share with you a little bit more about myself. Sometimes you don't get to share things except maybe in picture format or some silly things on Instagram and other things, but I wanted to share a little bit more about my family, a little bit more about my faith and fitness and fashion, things like that. So yeah, it's just as another avenue to share more about yourself. Your favorite color? By far my favorite color is black, even though like today I've got all blue on, but I just like black. I like the way black looks in shirts, pants, and shoes, and my hats, and for the longest time I had black cars, even though I have a white car now. But yeah, black's probably my favorite color. I just think it goes with, you can't go wrong with black. Outside of black, probably blue, but mostly that's my attire, blacks and grays, those darker colors. Your favorite song? I don't know if I have a favorite song right now. I like a lot of music. I like music from like the 80s, groups like The Outfield. I like groups like Def Leppard, hard rock and roll, to quirky little groups like Hip Sway. I like Simple Minds. To praise and worship music. I love Hillsong. I love Elevation Worship. Zealand worship, those types of things. And I love hard rock Christian music like Skillet. So I listen to really a lot of different types of, Lauren Daigle, something kind of soft and chill. Man, there's just a lot of stuff that I like. A lot of variety of music. So I could listen to really even some classical music. I can't think of her name right now. I like Jose Carrera. I like Sarah Brightman. That's what I was thinking of. Sarah Brightman. I love Sarah Brightman. She's awesome. She's a British singer and just awesome, but more classical type music. So I got a large variety that I really like. But I don't have a favorite song right now. What made you want to be a college professor? When you're in high school, you have this in your mind, I think I'm going to do this. And honestly, my first thought was I'm going to be a businessman. I'm going to sell lots of stuff, or I'm going to go into, then I kind of changed it. Like I want to go into like something international, maybe like as an ambassador to a foreign country, something like that. And then I got into, and I grew up in an international area in Florida where there was lots of Spanish speakers and people from all over the world. And I grew up, hearing Spanish and, different languages. And then as I studied those further and studied them in college, I really liked that. I really liked the language process, and I loved the university. So as I went and got my master's and then later my PhD, I just love that whole process of teaching. So that came about slowly, and I was good at teaching and really enjoyed it. So that was not something I set out to do, but it became one of those paths. As I started doing things that I loved, I made a career out of that. And teaching in languages was something that I really enjoyed, and I love students. That's why, like with social media, I love connecting, because for me, I've worked as when my wife and I were first married here, when we were in Troy, we were youth ministers at one of the local churches for about 3.5 years. And we worked with middle school kids and high school kids. And I've taught students from middle school to high school, and I've been a college professor at a university, at Troy University, which is my university. So if you're thinking about a university, Troy University in Troy, Alabama, it's an awesome place. I love my university, and I love working with university students. It's a wonderful spot. So really just working with students and teaching, I love doing that. And so that's how it came about. How many children do we have? We have 6 kids. Our oldest is Luke. He's really pretty soon, about a week, he's going to be 23. Cole will be in about a week, because he's a little bit later. Is the 21st of August. He'll be 21. And then Jack's 19, Clay 17. And so that's 4. And we thought we were done. We're like, hey, we got 4 kids. That's good. Everybody's got a partner. You kind of looked at it. We go someplace. It's the 6 of us. So, and I think of it like this. Okay, we're going to go to Disney or Six Flags. So you got a partner to ride with. You got a partner to ride with. Sherry and I can ride. And then the guy started wanting another kid. And before you know it, Tate came along. So Tate's 11. And then we got Lily, number 6, and she's our little girl, and she's 8 years old. So from 8 to 23 is our gamut. And love all my kids. They're super awesome. What do you like about Savannah and Everleigh? Well, we like everything about them. Savannah's awesome. She has like this personality that's just like our family. It's almost like she was made perfectly for our family, because she's funny, she's silly, she's outgoing, so easy to get along with. Like, I just can't imagine, like when she's around, it really, when she was first introduced and we first met her, I was like, she fits right in. Everleigh's the same way. She's silly and quirky. If you haven't figured it out yet, our family's goofy and silly, and we love each other. We're a ton of fun when we get together, and it was like boom, instantaneous. So I love their personalities. I love their hearts. They're sweet people. I love everything about them. So they're awesome people. Is Cole the first to get married? Yes, he is the absolute first to get married. And would I have thought? Yeah, because he wanted to get married. He was like, I really want to get married. I want to find a wife. But he wasn't dating anybody, and he really didn't date anybody in high school and go out. He was very particular, and so when he was excited, when he told me about Savannah, I was like, and I could see that little sparkle in his eye and his excitement. I was thinking, really in my mind, I was thinking, okay, this could very well be the girl, because my Cole is very, very particular. He doesn't just go out and date, and he doesn't go. And so when he met her, and of course, I remember we were in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and that was last summer. It happened so fast. It did. It was like, boom, met her, dated her, and married her within a year. But yeah, we were in Myrtle Beach, and it was at the end of July, and he had met her a couple of weeks before, but he was on the phone, and they were, FaceTiming and talking a lot and spending a lot of hours. Like, yeah, I want you guys to meet this girl. And I was like, okay, Cole does not do that, and now he wants us to meet this girl. This has got to be some special girl. And of course, when we met her, she was awesome, and we met Everleigh. She was equally awesome. Our kids love Everleigh. Everleigh is so much fun, and she calls me Popcorn. She picked that out. I don't know if it's because I make homemade popcorn on the stove. I make it the old-fashioned way, and my kids know this, like it's like a treat. Like when their friends come over or they come back home, like when Cole and Savannah visit, they'll be visiting in a week or so, I'm gonna make them some homemade popcorn. I'm known for like 2 things especially, and that's making homemade popcorn. You put the pot on the oven, and you can get like a little regular pot. You pour oil in it. Not a whole lot, but pour some oil. Put 1 kernel in and put it on almost the highest heat. Let's say if it goes up to 10, put it on 8.5 or 9. Wait till that 1 kernel pops, and then fill the rest of it in, and then just wait for it to pop. And then you can put some salt or butter on it. I usually just put some salt, and it is awesome. It's so much better than microwave popcorn. If you compare the microwave popcorn with that stovetop popcorn, I promise, if you try my popcorn, you'll be like, can you just like sell it? And yeah, I've even thought about it, like, I'm not even gonna do my professor job anymore. I'm just gonna sell my popcorn. Or my French toast. My French toast is awesome. You ask Cole especially, he would have his buddies come over. They would spend the night. He's like, Dad, can you make some French toast? And honestly, he would have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys over. I would make French toast for everybody and bacon for everybody. My French toast is like, it's awesome. So I'll just let you know, I got some of the best French toast in the world. And where was I going with that? I have no idea where I was going with that, how I got off onto that food, but yeah. So when they visit, it was, okay, yeah, back to her, her calling me, Everleigh called me Popcorn. But see, I think I'm becoming a little bit, yeah, I'm telling short stories long. And so, anyway, she calls me Popcorn, and I can't wait to see them when they come in a little bit. But love Savannah and Everleigh. For Cole, a college football team, what's my favorite? Florida State University, without a doubt. I went to Florida State University for all my years of college. I got my undergraduate and graduate degrees there. I love my Seminoles. And so, yeah, I'm a Florida State fan. I've got to go to a game this fall. So if you're in the Tallahassee area, I'm going to try to pick out a game, take some of my boys, and go see a Florida State Seminole football game. But yeah, that's my favorite team. Here in Alabama, I'd say probably, I don't really care either way, just because I'm not originally from here. My guys have been here, and all my guys like Alabama versus Auburn, but that's just their preference. I'm pretty happy if an Alabama team wins. That's good, since we live here. Let's see. Why are Cole and Savannah, you guys, so far apart? Well, Cole lives out in California. Some of you are wondering, why does he live out in California? Well, one, that's where he met his girl, but they love that California area, and that's really where they can do a lot of their business with social media. That's what their job is. One question is what they do for a living, and it's social media. And social media is really a full-time job. I even saw on TV the other day where they even have summer camps and camps for kids to come and learn how to produce content and videos and so forth. So that's their job. They produce content for lots of different platforms, and that's just a great place for them to network, meet people, and do the things that they like doing and sharing with you guys. So yeah, they live apart. We may move out there one day. I don't know. And we'll have to see, but I love I love the fact that they're out there. I think it's a perfect place for them right now. Let's see. How many years have you been married? Oh, we've been married since May 26th of 1990, so that's 27 years. That's a long time to be married. I met Sherry when I was still a teenager, 19, and she was 17. So really, she's 47 this year, so for 30 years we just kind of went out. Not too long ago, I gave her some special bracelet, but it was like 30 years of us knowing each other, and that's a long part of our lives. But yeah, 27 years is how long we've been married. Let's see. When are you going to go see Savannah and Cole again? Pretty soon. We're going to see them in Atlanta at an event. They're going to be speaking and sharing their testimony at a church, and we're going to go over there and see them next week. Next meet and greet. We do meet and greets. I'd say our next meet and greet will be, I have no idea. We've talked about it with Savannah and Cole, and with them living out there, that's probably something that they'll have to plan because people will want to come see them. So if they do a meet and greet and we're able to hitch a ride and kind of be a part of that, we would love to. But we've talked about doing another one in Atlanta again, and doing some other things, other venues. But we'll have to see. I'm not sure. But something that we have talked about since they've been very popular, and you guys have attended. Those of you that went to the ones in Atlanta and in Birmingham, they've been awesome. Let's see. I already gave you the age of all my kids. One of you want to know where was Florence, Alabama. I do know where Florence, Alabama. It's in that northwest corner. You got that Muscle Shows of Florence before you head out of Alabama. So yeah, I do know where Florence, Alabama is. How did Cole and Savannah meet? That was a neat thing where they Cole went out to California just to kind of network. He said, Dad, I want to go out there. He went out there for a little over a month with his best friend John Steven and with his brother Luke, and didn't really plan on meeting anybody as far as like a life partner, a wife, girlfriend, or anything like that. But kind of saw her in a distance and kind of recognized this girl from Musically, and I think she kind of recognized him, and they were going to go to some VidCon or one of those types of things out there, some kind of con, and but ended up connecting out there that way. So it's kind of neat how they met, because he almost came back early. He was like, I think I'm done. I've been spent some time in Cali, and I kind of encouraged him to stay for the whole time and just enjoy himself and network a little bit more, and that's when he met Savannah, and it was wonderful. Next vacation, I'd say our next vacation, let me think. Boy, we went on a family cruise last year. I'm kind of leaning towards going snow skiing. We did this one year. It was so awesome. When the kids were like, I want to say like 14, 12, 10, 8, and then Tate would have only been a couple years old, like 2 years old, and then I think Sherry was maybe pregnant with Lily. So we didn't even have Lily yet, but we didn't even tell the kids. We packed the car. We bought them all of their snow supplies, like their snow bibs and all the things they would need for all that type of weather, because we're in Alabama. And we had the whole car packed on Christmas morning. We opened up a couple of presents and we said, all right, let's go. We're going to go see your grandparents in Atlanta. And they got in the car and they crashed out and they were asleep. And we got to, I want to say, Nashville, Tennessee. And, I think it was Cole kind of looked around and was like, where are we? Everybody else was crashed out. And then he went back to sleep. And I think it was like Louisville, Kentucky. He woke up again. He's like, we're not in Atlanta. Where are we? And I said, where do you think we are? He goes, well, Granny and Paul live in Atlanta, and this is Louisville, because you saw like a big old sign, and it's a whole different city. And so we kind of surprised him. But halfway up, we said, we're going to go snow skiing. And we were going from all the way from Alabama, a 15-hour trip all the way up to Cadillac, Michigan. You got like Traverse City. It's up on the peninsula. And that day that we were driving, they were expecting a blizzard to come in and dump a foot of snow. So we drove all day and into the night and got in there, and literally it snowed every day. It was cold. It was awesome. We went snow skiing at a neat place called Cabernet Peak. So if anybody knows that one, it's an awesome place. It was budget friendly, and we had an awesome time for about 5 days up there and enjoyed tons of snow. So I kind of want to go up there maybe this time, get a cabin or a little house on a lake and do some snow skiing and tubing and maybe some snowmobiling. I think that would be fun because that was an awesome trip. I loved it so much because it was a surprise, and I love surprising them. That one we pulled it off, they had zero clue, and it was so cool to see their shock, like, oh my gosh, we're gonna go see snow. And it wasn't like a little bit of snow. We got to South Bend, Indiana, and there was like snow drifts as high as 8, 9, 10 feet. And the guys were like climbing it in their shorts and tank tops, like, Dad, check this out, and they're freezing, and like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And we're coming from Alabama where it was like 65 degrees, and now it's like 5. So it was pretty awesome. How proud of you are you of Cole? I'm very proud of Cole, very proud of, so much about him that I can be proud of. One of your questions was, who are you most like? And it'd probably be between Cole and Tate personality-wise, and then Cole and I have this connection on just many levels, especially like on a spiritual level. But I'm very proud of him just for the young man he is. I'm proud of him for his stand for his faith. I'm proud of him for his morals and values. But I'm proud of all my kids. I love all my kids and proud of them for just different areas. But I'm very proud of him. I'm proud of him for what he's achieved and things he's done in his life. But I love all my kids. They're from top to bottom. I can think of just awesome things about each of them that I love, and they're all very special. I feel blessed to have I consider them. I use like the word treasures because I do think of them as special treasures, special gifts that I've been blessed with for a very short, limited time. And I give them back out, and so it's just awesome. For me, the if you think of highlights of your life, and it's your kids, and Cole's a special kid, and I'm very, very proud of him. Let's see, who would you say? Isn't this awful? I'm a professor and I can't even read my own writing. Most embarrassing moment in school. I think my most embarrassing moment was, I remember I was at Florida State University, very, very fresh there, and then we're talking the 80s, and I had on this entire white outfit. For some reason, I had my hair really long, on like 80s rock and roll long, and I had on these white parachute pants and this cool white shirt and this white shoes, and I was heading to the dining room and just looking good, and I was there with a bunch of friends that we'd met, my roommate, and I had a plate of food, and I remember this vividly because I was just like, it was like so embarrassing, but I had the plate of food. I sat down. I don't know how I did it, but I hit my elbows on the tray, and then all of that food went bang right against my face and fell right down over my pants. And it was, I eat a lot of food. I was eating like a ton of food, working out then, but literally all that food that I was going to eat was all over me, and I had just like, every color imaginable on there. My hair was wet, everything was nasty, and I had to walk not only out of that huge, because Florida State dining room was just huge, walk through, all the students saw it, cleaned it up, had to walk all the way out of there, all the way through campus, people looking at me like, what are you doing, dude? Like, is this like a new thing? Are we putting food on our bodies? I should have just like played off like, yeah. So like, if you're heading in there, it's like a food fight. It's pretty cool. You like put food on you. It's really fun. So I didn't do that. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm wearing total white. I'm thinking I'm looking good, and it was very humbling to pour food all over your, not poo, but food all over your body. That was so bad. Who is older, Tate or Lily? I'd say Tate's older by 3 years, but I'd say that they get comments about how they look like twins all the time. And that's a matter of fact. People seem to say, oh, they had twins, because they do. It's amazing. They're 3 years apart, but they favor each other so much. And with Tate's long hair, one of your questions was, is he ever going to cut his hair? I don't think so. I've asked him many a times, and it's almost like Samson. He feels like he's going to lose his power. They're very close in age with 3 years, but they even look closer. They almost, again, they look like twins. How many 50 states have I been to? I think I was counting them up the other day because somebody did that on Facebook, was asking, I'll tell you, tell me, this guy's been to every one. I think I've been to like 25 or 26. There's a lot of them I haven't been to. Like Idaho. I haven't been to Idaho. Montana. I haven't been to Montana. So some of those up there I haven't been to, and a couple in the Northeast. But, most of the Southeast and all the way up to New York, I've been up that far, not the far Northeast. And out West, I've been to some, but not a whole lot either. So I've got, I think I counted about 25, so maybe half. I'd like to visit some. Maybe Hawaii would be a good place to start. I'd like to visit Hawaii. I love tropical places. Like to visit that. But up in the Northwest, I'd like to visit, Washington State and like that Seattle area. I think that'd be a really cool spot to visit. But still got plenty to visit. So hopefully one day we'll be able to travel even more because, I haven't even seen all of my own country. One thing I love about my family, I love the fact that we just have fun. When we travel, we do stuff together. We're not perfect. We're just like any other family. We hug, we love, and when we fight, sometimes we'll get into some arguments and discussions and fight like normal people. But I just love the fact that really from top to bottom, we all have the same quirky, funny sense of humor, and we really get along well. Just thinking of like our vacations this past time and at Cole's wedding in Huntington Beach, it was just so awesome. Just the moments we had exploring and doing things together. So we like to enjoy each other's company, and we do that a lot. And even when we're around each other a lot, we don't really generally aggravate each other like the whole time. We'll aggravate each other like normal because you're just going to do that with family. The old saying is fish and guests stink after 3 days, and once you're around your siblings for more than 3 days, it's kind of like, okay, I'm ready to choke you out, or I'm gonna really get you. But really, we can go for a week or two, and really, for the most balance, just have such great harmony. So I love that about our family. Chicken or fish? Fish. I love fish. I love anything seafood, so it's gonna be fish all the time. How many kids, grandkids do you want? One of the questions, do you consider Everleigh a grandkid? Yeah, I consider a grandkid, absolutely. When Cole's like, I'm gonna marry this girl, immediately I was like, yeah, you're the person you love is the person I'm gonna love, and I'm gonna take care of. So whoever that is, for all of my guys, I'm gonna love them and really, try to have a servant's heart towards them. And I love Savannah and Everleigh, and yeah, I consider her as one of my grandkids. And she calls me, I'm her popcorn, and she's my little Everleigh. And even though there's not that blood connection, I will treat her every bit as she's one of my grandkids, and she's very special. So yeah, I do consider her as that. And when you get that marriage unit that comes in, like Savannah, she's my daughter-in-law, but she'll be like, like a daughter, like somebody I love and respect and take care of. And yeah, just everything. Part of that marriage is, once they come into that relationship, they're LaBrants, and they're part of our awesome LaBrant family. I love our LaBrant family. Let's see, if you could, I already answered that one about living anywhere in the world, which, that's going to be, maybe one day, Australia or New Zealand, but we'll have to see. Let's see, like, somebody asked us about balance, like with having so many kids, how do we balance the time with kids and with our relationship with me and Sherry? Over the years, I would purpose to set up date nights for us, and I still do that. I'll have either one of the older kids watch Tate and Lily, or we'll get a babysitter and try to have that time at least, every few weeks where we can just go out together. Sometimes it's just like a quick overnight trip where we can take. And then even with, that's for us. So for us as a couple, I think that's important to have time where you're together, and but like the other day, all the kids were at school, and we just had a good time to talk, and just to make sure when we're together to spend that time. But we see each other a lot because of my schedule as a professor. We get plenty of time to hang out and to do stuff together, and yeah, I just it's tougher when you have, like, especially little kids and lots of things to do, maintenance wise, and then you got taking care of them, feeding them, and you got ball games, and you got church and different things. But for me, even within having the kids, it's finding that balance of spending time with each of the kids. So I try to, spend some time talking to each of the kids. The other day I was outside and just me and Clay. Clay's my number 4, kind of like in that middle. And I took him to the dentist, and when we got back from the dentist, we just kind of hung out and shot some baskets and talked life. And to me, that was that important. I was thinking in my mind, I got something to do, but this is more important now. And you can't make. I love this. One of my favorite mentors, Steve Farrar, says, you can't make quality time happen. You have to make quantity time. So basically, I had to make time, for us to just sit and shoot, and then you have some quality moments in there that are just like little nuggets. And for me, it's like, let me take you on a ride on a golf cart, Lily, and we can chat. Hey, Tate, how about you and I go? And like today, it was awesome. I was with Jack on campus. He's an RA at Troy University, and he texted me, said, hey, Dad, what are you doing for lunch? I'm free for lunch. And I was like, hey, we had a faculty get together, and all of our faculty ate together in our offices. I said, why don't you come by and eat with us? So he came by and ate with us with all our faculty, and here's Jack. And of course, I was bragging on him. He's our Marine. And then afterwards, he's like, well, I guess I'll see you. He said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to go to the gym. So he's like, oh, I'll go change, and I'll go to the gym with you. So I got to work out with him, and we got to talk. To me, those are just special times that, sometimes you can just sit, like on the back porch a couple weeks ago with Luke. We're just sitting and chatting and talking about life. So I try to make those moments as best I can, where you just take a moment and eat some one-on-one time with each of your kids, and you don't get that as much, but I purpose to do that. I think that's very important, and I love those moments. Where do you go to church? We go to church at a small church here in town, but it's growing quickly. Very contemporary, praise and worship. Pastor's young, vibrant, really cool. But it's called Church With You, and really just a simple message. They want to share the gospel with people, be very relevant, and love God and love others, keeping it simple. And just started greeting people. I'm a new greeter, and I'm out there in the parking lot, and I told us I want to be one of those people shaking hands and being out front, because I like to do that. I like to just. And I'm not one that, if I go to like a party, even if I don't know anybody, I'm going to start shaking hands and meeting people and talking. I'm not that person that's back against the wall. I'm the one that's just right there. I want to get to know people. So I said, I'll be the guy that wears a little greeter vest, and I'm out there in the parking lot shaking your hands. And I even got this little cart, little wagon to take kids around and take them up to the front from the parking lot all the way up to the church. So yeah, it's a really cool place. And so. Yeah, we go to a little church there. This is your and Sherry's job. Again, I'm a professor at a university, but also do social media at some level. And Sherry does social media, and she's been involved. She's had lots of neat jobs. She, for 10 years, ran her own business. She created her own business online, selling these heating pads made of corn feed. And started out just at the house, selling them locally. Then it sold them, within Alabama, then the Southeast, and then after a while, she's selling them all over the U.S. and even sometimes outside the U.S. And she's a hairdresser by trade, so we've never paid for haircuts. She does her hair. So if you think people have said, "Man, all of you guys have great hair," it's because of Sherry. She's done all that. So she's had lots of different vocations and jobs over the years, but now she's really doing lots of things with her social media. She's done things with, like right now she's off at an event in Orlando for kids who have, illnesses, and a special event with other reality stars. So she does a lot of those things throughout the year as well. So yeah, I don't know what we'll be doing in the future, but we're really enjoying our vocations right now. How did we meet? We met at I was working at Sears in their shoe and luggage. I was selling shoes and luggage, and I got a call from my youth pastor, and he said, hey, there's a last minute, they need a counselor at this Christian camp up in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and Lookout Mountain at Covenant College, and would you like to be a counselor? I said, sure. I'll have to see if I can get off from work. And I asked my boss, he's like, it's kind of like last minute. He said, how long are you going to need off? I said, a whole week. He's like, a whole week? So I didn't think I was going to get to go, and like at the last second, he said, yeah, you can go. Well, that's where her family was going. It was called CBMC, Christian Businessmen's Committee International, part of Dr. Bill Bright's mission and organization. And all these businessmen and their families would come from all over the U.S. and even the world at this college. You had like CEOs from like Arby's and CEO of Schwinn Bikes and CEO of this company, and her dad was with Scientific Atlanta at the time. And I was a counselor and she was a camper, and that probably wasn't the best thing to do, but she was cute, yeah, and we started talking, and we met at this camp and kind of just wrote letters for the first year, and I came back the next year. We started dating, and then we dated for 2 years, and then we got married in 1990. So we started officially dating in 88. After a full year of dating, I asked her to marry me in 89, and then we were engaged for about a year, and then 1990, May 26th, we got married. So yeah, I was 22 when we got married, and she was 20. We were married 27 years. So what does that make us? After 27 years, so I'm 27 now, and she's 25. Okay, my math is off. We're a little bit older, but yeah, we met at Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, up there at Covenant College. Favorite thing about Alabama, I like Alabama. I really like generally the people here are just really family oriented. I'd say it's a really great place to raise kids. So we've had really good things. I don't like the heat in the summer. But where we're at is pretty close to the beach. It's only about an hour and a half, so it's still a pretty decent place. And we're now in Enterprise, which is a military town, and I do like that military influence. I really do like that a lot. So there's a lot of aspects I like about it. But I also like California. So what do you like about California? I like California's weather. I love the coast. I love its surfing. It's got some really neat diversity between those mountains that are all around and then that coastline. It's a lot more expensive though. Yeah, but it's I couldn't live in LA. That's just too busy and crazy. But I could live down the coastline. If I go down to Huntington or Newport or one of those beachy areas as you're heading down towards San Diego, that would be awesome. I could definitely do that. What's your religion? I'd say I'm just a believer in Jesus Christ. It's not like a religion for me. It's more of a relationship with Christ. It's I have a faith and belief that He's did what He did. He died for my sins, and He died and came back to life. So my faith and trust is in Him, and so I don't look at it as just like a religion. I'm a Christian, and for all of my kids, I share my faith, but I leave that decision up to them. Somebody asks, what do you do with your kids, and what if they don't believe what you believe? It was one of the questions. I said, I share my faith with them, and that's their choice. I want them to, I wouldn't want to make anybody believe anything. I want them to have that choice, that free will, to choose and to really to think about why it is what they believe. And I encourage even students and people that I know who are of that Christian faith, be ready to defend your faith and give an answer for your faith. So. I'm a believer in Jesus, and He's my Lord and Savior. I try to keep Him number one and seek Him first. Don't always do that. I kind of get that out of whack, but that's basically what I do. And then the last thing is, why'd you start your YouTube? Well, I started my YouTube again to share a little bit more about me and who I am, and want to share with you. So if you have other questions, these were all awesome questions. I think I got everything. If I missed one, I'm sorry. I can do another one, but this was fun. I enjoyed talking to you guys and sharing, and I hope I got everything answered that you were curious about. I love my fam, and when you do social media, you have almost like an extension, because we get to relate and talk and share things with you. So if you think of some things along the way that, hey, I want to ask you about that, I'll be ready to share that. But the purpose of this is to share with you, my faith, and share with you also some things that have to do with fitness, because we're a fitness-oriented family. Fashion, like I mentioned, I love all that type of stuff. And then, so I want to share those things with you. But yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and this was probably long. I hope you watched it to the end. But next week will be something totally different. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be here every Sunday. So, and you can follow me on Instagram. If you go to Ken LaBrant, KenLaBrant on Instagram, follow me there. I'm on LaBrant Ken on Twitter, and I'm just Ken LaBrant on Facebook, so you can look me up. And so thanks again for following me. Check out Sherry's channel as well. She's got some great beauty tips and things like that. Really, her videos are better than mine. She does a great job. And Lily and Tate are posting every Saturday as well. Go check them out. And I don't know if you've heard of Cole and Savannah, but they've got this little channel. Go check them out as well. Thanks for watching, guys. I had fun, and I appreciate every one of you for following us. You know, we don't consider ourselves famous. I think you know, fame is just kind of relative, and we have, you know, followers on different things, and people have so many more followers and some people have less, but we're very grateful. And with Cole's initial getting into Dim White Boys, it was an interesting thing. I'll tell you real quickly. You know, he starts out a video and does a little twerk with some of his friends, and then that blows up within a month to 1 million people, and then it just blows up on Vine to almost 7 million, and then it moved into other platforms and different things. And then, yeah, eventually each of us start to get different followers, and a lot of them follow us really because of, you know, Cole and Savannah and that LaBrant name, and we're just very grateful. For us, is to share pictures and to share moments and to share, you know, some personal things about ourselves as you share with us as well. So it's a great connection, and we really do appreciate it. That's why we like doing the meet and greets and being a part of your lives. Thanks again. I hope you guys have an awesome Sunday. Relax, have some great time with family, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.